Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome into the Lindsay Beckham Show. We are live here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. Sean is joining me today. We have lots that we want to discuss and talk about and break down. 601-879-0002 is the number if you would like to call in to the show today. If you have any questions or comments, concerns, anything you would just like to get off your chest, 601-879-4648 is our text line if you would rather get in touch with us that way. Hey, Sean,
Hey, what's up, Lindsay?
how are you?
I'm doing great. Just running and gunning, as they say today. So it's been a busy day already. I still got
Always.
a busier afternoon, but yeah. So we're gonna talk about other stuff other than school choice, or are we gonna
I
talk
mean, I
about
don't know. It's always
just
my favorite topic,
yeah,
as
yep,
you
I've
know.
known that. Yeah, and I was driving to Court and Clinton yesterday, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna click on the show, and then I was like, school choice. Here we
Well,
go.
then you missed the first segment because we didn't even get into that
Yeah, it was like hot at
until.
like 12:25 or something like that. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, one thing that
Yeah.
we talked about pretty extensively a while back was Aaron Spencer, this case
Yep.
out of Arkansas. And I think he's a hero. Obviously, to recap it, this is a man who knew that there was a much older sexual predator basically grooming his daughter and actually took her from his home. I think she was 14 at the time, something like
Yeah,
13 or
something around there.
so he actually goes and looks for them and catches up to them, finds them, gets his daughter, and then gets into an altercation with this man who took his daughter and ends up killing the man. He is actually about to be tried for murder. I think he should be given a Medal of Honor.
Yeah, second degree murder. That's right. That's what they charged him with. Yeah, they he had so the guy was, I believe, his name is Michael Fossler. Is doing right? Is that right, Lindsay?
Yes,
Who
yes.
who had been charged with like 43 felony counts of some sort of sexual abuse and stalking in under Arkansas law, and I'm unsure what the specific acts were. The his daughter was 13 at the time that Fossler allegedly did that. Then he was, I
In his
believe,
60s, right? Wasn't he in his 60s?
yes, I think he was around, yeah, early 60s, something to that effect, and, he, um, he was released, I think, on bond after that, and then he Fossler, the dead guy, let's call him the dead guy, dirtbag, who,
Yeah.
he, ran into Aaron Spencer's daughter again, somehow lured her out again, and Spencer was looking for her and found her with Fossler, and that's when he killed him, whatever the situation was. But of course, there's disputed events. I think Spencer says that he felt he was coming at him or whatever it is. I think that delves us into a lot of other areas. I was listening to the district attorney or assistant district attorney from that county in Arkansas on a YouTube clip this morning, and he and the way he was selling it was like, I mean, we have to enforce the law here. You just do you want to this is the words he used, Lindsay. Actually, it's a the YouTube clip's titled this is we don't live in the Wild West where you can just shoot people. That's what the DA or the assistant DA is saying. I guess that's their position
Tell you
from
what, if
that.
it was Cecil Martin, he would have done the same thing. My daddy would have done the exact same thing.
Well, I think that most daddies would, and that's evidenced by what Lindsay and I are getting into. So Aaron Spencer, after he's charged with this second degree murder of the wonderful Mr. Fossler, who I think is better off dead, and we all probably agree with that.
Right?
That
Those community improvement killings.
he runs for sheriff because he's pissed. He's like, because the sheriff's department investigated the case, and in the Republican primary, he beats the incumbent sheriff. Just what? Yeah, Tuesday. I guess that was Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah.
54% of the vote, y'all. 54%. That's
He's
how
gotten
much of this
so much,
community.
yeah. He's gotten so much support from this community.
Exactly, and what shocked me, Lindsay, about it the most is that, like, I've worked in DA's office or 2 different DA's offices, and the attorney general's office. I know how political all those environments are. They're super, super political, and if people do not think so, they're crazy. Everything is measured by politics when you're in a DA's office. It just is. A lot of things are, and not all of them, but mine was, and a lot are. So you would think that this DA would be like, well, let me just put my finger to the political winds here. And obviously, the county just ousted the incumbent sheriff who'd been there for several decades, I believe. and voted for Aaron Spencer. I think, and I don't think Aaron Lindsay has any law enforcement experience whatsoever. I don't think he does, as far as I know. I'd have to check into
Well,
that.
obviously, he knows how to
But
how
but
to
this
aim
guy,
her, how
but
to
this guy has got a this guy's got such a following that people are like, yeah, we're gonna vote for him for sheriff, the guy that killed the sex abuser or the alleged sex abuser. And so then, so he's got that much popular support. Do you think you're going to win a jury trial in that county if you're I mean, do you honestly
heck
believe
no,
that?
and not only that, but all the law tubers have been following this case, and I'm sure that they will all be live streaming it when it does go to trial
Yeah,
because people have just taken such a vested interest in this because they can see themselves in this scenario, this play out in their own lives, and I feel like a lot of people would have done the exact same thing that this dad did to protect his daughter.
sure, I agree. I think and I've personally experienced something like this when you're at the DA's office and you're kind of like,
Carrie
you know,
said the whole DA.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'll give you a specific example, and I've written about this before. So one time back in 2011, I had to try a kid. He was a 17-year-old that had murdered his stepfather, but the stepfather had beat his mother, the kid's mother, 17-year-old, like beat her a lot. He was just a very abusive guy. And I think one night, stepfather came in and like broke the lady's arm or something pretty bad. And then the next day, the kid went and found him and shot and killed him. Well, obviously, what I'm thinking, if that was my mama, I'd do the same damn thing, right? I mean, like, I think a lot of people always feel that way. But of course, my boss at the time, who's now dearly departed, he he uh
Really?
he said that, yeah, right. I know. I mean, catch catch the note of sarcasm there. The he wanted me to try this kid, and I was like, God bless it, I do not want to try this kid. I mean, 17-year kid was accepted to the Air Force Academy, from what I remember too. He was a good kid, and
Defending
he
his
was.
mom, defending his mom,
I mean, well, but that's the thing. So that's where I was getting into. So he wasn't really defending; he was seeking vengeance because it wasn't in the middle of the beating,
defending
and
her
so
honor, I
yeah,
guess.
so he was, and he was killing the the, the guy. I was going to use some. I'm trying
The
to watch my
POS,
language here.
the
That beat
POS.
his mom. I mean, and it's like, can you blame him? So, but you can't go out and just seek revenge and shoot somebody, and that's kind of the whole point of that. And so my boss made me try it. Luckily, that case ended in a mistrial because no jury was ever going to convict that kid. I don't blame them. But even though I was the prosecutor, the I think the Aaron Spencer situation is very analogous to that. Like, yes, even if Spencer, and I don't know these are the facts, but let's assume that the way the DA is looking at them is that Spencer found his daughter with Foster. Foster was posing no threat to Spencer, and he just shot him in the head. Let's just say he just and then chopped up his body and ate his arm or whatever. The grossest thing imaginable. Let's just say it's that bad. Like, there's no self defense, nothing. Is anybody still going to convict Aaron Spencer?
No,
I don't think so. Not most people. And
not when
that's
this
kind
was
of
a
the
man in
point.
his 60s that has been arrested for numerous sexual related crimes, and this little girl, I mean, and she is a little girl,
Yeah,
13, 14-year-old little girl who obviously has been misled by this man and groomed. I mean, that is the
sure.
definition of grooming a child.
Yeah, I think, I mean, technically, you can't just go out and kill somebody because you're mad at them and they're doing even the most horrible things, even though we all think in our head, well, we're fine with it and I'm fine with it too. That's not what I'm saying. But the law says you can't do that. And so the
Well,
argument
then
the DA is making is, well, you have to everybody has to follow the law. You can't take the law in your own hands. But the reality portion is, and see, the thing about trying cases is you deal in the real world. You don't deal in a law school textbook. And I think a lot of lawyers think that you're dealing with 12 people and you're trying to get 12 people to agree on whether somebody's guilty or whether they're not guilty. And I always say, try to get three people to agree to where to go to lunch. It's not that easy. So
I don't make
so the
those
thing,
decisions.
yeah, you never make those decisions. So, like, you're gonna in the real world, people are like, that guy was molesting his daughter and he went and killed him. Yeah, cool. Can we give him a medal? And they obviously felt that way because they gave him 54% of the vote against the incumbent sheriff. So I think there has to be a balance between the law and a real world analysis of things. And there a lot of times there just isn't.
But, not only that, Sean, but if the DA thinks that this is something worth prosecuting, I think they should take a good, long, hard look at why this man was continued to be let go after committing crimes.
Yeah, I don't know I mean, I know there was 43 felony counts. I don't know that that he had committed other crimes. He may have.
No,
I'd have
he
to
had been
check into that.
arrested for this girl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This time, and I think he got a bond for that. Is that correct? I believe that's right. Which that's another issue entirely there. But I don't know that he was like a career criminal. He may have been. I just haven't checked into his criminal history though.
Well, if you have that many counts, I mean, that pretty much sounds like a career criminal to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're obviously some, alleged sicko because we don't know that he actually. I assume he did it because what's he doing with a 13-year-old girl
Right.
again? I'm gonna put my odds on the fact that he was guilty because I mean, okay, well, you've been charged with 43 counts against this girl, and then you get out on bond and you go hang out with the girl again. Yeah, you probably did it. So, I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, I think that
I
kind
mean,
of shows you that.
I feel sure there had to be some sort of restraining order or no contact order in place after being arrested for that very thing.
Yeah, well, there was a protective order against Fossler. They had one
Right.
against him, so they have that in there, and he was actively violating the order. Fossler was, which would have probably been, I'm sure, a condition of his bond that he was violating, so he would have been revoked anyway for that. Barely got revoked from life though, and it wasn't. He's not worried about bond.
No, no. I don't think he's worried about anything except for how hot it is
Yeah,
wherever he ended up.
he's possibly shoveling coal as we speak.
Yes. And I
So
mean, I think the world's probably a safer place. That community is probably a safer place. And obviously the community there, the citizens feel like that. They feel like the sheriff maybe wasn't doing a good enough job. And I mean, why would they continue to want to prosecute this man when I think he was very much within his rights?
I don't know all the circumstances about obviously the sheriff's department's investigation. One thing I will say to this, and I think there's a confusion in the public about a lot of it. I mean, the sheriff can do whatever they want to do. They can investigate it, work it up, but at the end of the day, the DA is the one who makes the decision.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, and I know I've been in this position many times when I was in that job, where the cops are pissed at you for the decision you make. But sometimes you just have to make a different call because you're looking at the law. And here, I don't think they made the right call, or at least I think it was politically and morally stupid one. But so the cops don't, I mean, they may recommend, yeah, we want this guy to be indicted, but that doesn't mean that you have to do that. Many times you say, no, sorry, I think the case sucks. And then that's just
Yeah.
the nature of the job. So it really isn't on the sheriff's department to me. It's more on the DA. And I think, but obviously Spencer is not a lawyer, so he couldn't run for DA. If he could have, he
Right.
probably would have won that too.
Yeah. I mean, true. And, also, I think a lot of times people don't realize, and I thought about this so much with the Karen Reed case, especially them trying it twice, the amount of money that is poured into a trial of that magnitude by the state. So the taxpayers are paying for the DA in this state to attempt to convict this man of second-degree murder.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
feel like that does not sit well with people.
Especially a case that the likelihood of success is very, very limited. I mean, I would almost say 99% chance it's a not guilty or it's a hung jury. At the very l
Oh, it's gonna
at
be a
the
not
very
guilty, I'm
worst,
sure.
it's a hung jury. Maybe there's one person that's a stickler for the law and saying, "You can't do that." I don't know. I mean, that could happen, and it possibly would, but you're never gonna get 12 people to say, "This guy's guilty." This is never gonna happen.
Never,
I
not
mean
in a
I
million
mean, I'm
years.
just thinking the 2 of us sitting here talking, and we disagree on everything, right? But here we're like, "Yeah, I ain't voting to convict him." Like,
No,
and I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, to be honest, I would not.
and I haven't come
So,
across a single person that thinks differently than we do on
yeah.
this issue.
Across the political spectrum. I mean, like, everybody's like, "Wait, the dude was molesting the kid?" "Yeah, sorry, we're not could we have given you the gun?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's what everybody
exactly.
thinks. I mean, it's just so it's very typical of lawyers to do things like this where they're thinking like lawyers and not like regular people, and they need to step outside the law school classroom sometimes and be like, "Yeah, this is this ain't gonna work, bud."
No. No, it definitely is not. Well, we gotta take a break, and I know there's some other things that we wanna get to. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show. I'm joined by my friend and yours, our favorite attorney, Mr. Sean Yerkeron, and we will be right back here on WIAB 1039 right after this break. Stay with us. WIAB 1039 right after this break. Stay with us.
1039 WYAB.
Get ready
right in Louisiana. Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Spring is in the air and temperatures are on the rise, requiring us to run the AC nonstop. Don't let those days sneak up on you. Call Pure Air Consultants today for your spring inspection on your AC system. Pure Air Consultants, your go-to Ring Pro partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time at all. Locally owned and operated, Ring and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue. Contact Pure Air Consultants today online at mypureconsultants.com. That's mypureconsultants.com.
After 28 years, we are closing our brick and mortar location in Canton come November 2025. But fear not, smalltownmusic.com will remain alive and well, and you will still be able to text or call 601-859-8596. Small Town Music, come on and get it. 859-8596. Call before you're home. We will have a booth on Canton Square at the Emporium, and you can still browse our guitars and support our original music at www.smalltownmusic.com.
I'm speaking with Lee Bounds of Rapid Rate Mortgage. Why is Rita Jensen the type of real estate professional you are looking for?
As a mortgage professional, I look for making transactions easier, and Rita Jensen with Rematch Connection is a prime example of that. Her attention to detail, her strong communication skills really help us as a mortgage company make everything smooth. From start contract to close, she helps me.
RitaJensen.net.
The new year is off to a fast start, but you can't keep up if your vehicle is sidelined. Get to Mazda of Jackson and take advantage of these super deals before time runs out. Get 1.9% financing for 63 months on all 2025 Mazda CX-5s and 2026 CX-90s, CX-50s, and Mazda 3s with approved credits, and get 1-year maintenance included in your new vehicle purchase. Don't wait another minute to experience Mazda's exhilarating performance, top-notch safety, and reliability online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit I-55 Frontage Road.
When it's time to get serious about work-ready equipment, come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. From rugged Big Tex trailers to durable CM and Legend X truck beds, H&H has what your truck needs to work harder and last longer. For the field, H&H carries reliable ag equipment from Salford, New Leader, and Chandler. Visit H&H Chief Sales in Carthage today or anytime at hhchiefsales.com. H&H, quality equipment, knowledgeable service, and solutions that work as hard as you do.
Come together.
Welcome back into the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show. I'm, of course, Lindsay Beckham. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. 601-879-0002 is the number if you would like to call into the show today. 601-879-4648 is the text line. We are joined by Mr. Sean Yerkeron of the Yerkeron Law Firm. Did I say it right? He tells me I say his name wrong, but I think I say it correctly.
That'll be fine. It's better than a lot of people say it. So.
Yes, I can only imagine the things that you've heard yourself be called.
My favorite was when I was in the Marines and I got to Parris Island and the drill instructors started calling me Eucatorian. I still remember that forever. That was the best one. And you don't want to correct him. When
No.
you're a Marine Corps, you're in boot camp. You don't correct the drill instructor. You're like, yes, sir, I'm Eucatorian. That's it. Recruit Eucatorian. That's the way you would put it there.
Yeah,
So.
I don't think you argue very much at that point in time with
No. Last thing I was concerned of was the proper pronunciation of my last name. So.
Sean, there is a big event coming up on the Ole Miss campus next Tuesday. Have you heard about it?
Is it about school choice?
How did you know? How could you have ever
can't believe
guessed?
it. I don't know that, Lindsay, that your audience is just informed enough about school choice so that you might want to, do some more shows on it. I don't think there's enough.
If they're not,
on the
they could always come to Oxford on Tuesday because I will be debating Nancy Loom taking her own head on, and it should be very interesting, especially since yesterday we saw this sweet little love letter written to Nancy Loom from our very own Lieutenant Governor, Dilbert Hosemann.
Well, you sent it to me, but I'm in full honesty, I did not read it. So what did it say?
Oh, it's basically just an apology for not being able to get everything done this session that she wanted. I mean, what is this hold that Nancy Loom has over the Senate, it seems, or at least over our Lieutenant Governor? It's quite interesting.
Now, so everybody that's not in the weeds of this, can you explain who she is again? Like she's like the union leader, is that right?
So we don't have an official teachers union in the state of Mississippi. What we do have is this pseudo union of sorts called the Parents Campaign. And I have vowed to anytime I ever say the name of this group, I also follow that up with they are the most anti-parent organization I have ever seen. But this should be a very, very interesting and lively debate Tuesday night. Sean, you actually called me earlier and were asking me about something you saw on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Johnny Dupree, who used to be the mayor of Hattiesburg. I don't know if he's elected to something in the Senate and the House now. You would know better than me. Y'all, Lindsay pays attention to what goes on in the legislature. I do not. I do not care. I feel like it's the same political platitudes all the time. Like I love Jesus, like I love guns. It's all the same thing to me. So I tune it out. Not my
You
thing.
gotta know what's
I'm
going on.
I get it. They all love Jesus and they hate healthcare. Like that's what I get. But anyway, that being said, they Johnny Dupree maybe he's elected in the House or Senate, I'm not sure, but he said something to the fact of that teacher pay raises were tied to school choice in the House bill but not the Senate. So I was confused because again, I don't pay attention to those folks up there. Lindsay does. So I called her up and said, "What is that true?" And she was like, "No, that's completely not true." So you could explain that portion that you actually pay attention to, and I do not.
Yeah. I mean, what's kind of crazy about that is I'm not sure. Is he an elected? If he's an elected official, he should at least know better than to.
I know he was the mayor of Hattiesburg. I don't know if he is now. That's what I was asking. I have no idea.
He should at least know better than to post false information publicly.
Yeah, he's in the Senate. I just pulled it up. He's in the Senate now. So
that is completely and totally false. In fact, the Senate had a standalone teacher pay raise bill that would give all teachers a $2,000 raise.
Mhm.
The House had a standalone teacher pay raise bill that was not tied into HB2 any way, shape, or form that would have actually given teachers a $5,000 raise. So the House was wanting to give teachers more than the Senate was. Here's the funny thing. Once you get a bill through your side, your chamber, it goes over to the other side. Well, the House bill that would give them $5,000 raise didn't make it out of the Senate side, and then the Senate bill that would have given them a $2,000 raise did not make it out of the House side. So they're all dead now.
Okay.
There was an assistant teacher pay raise tied in with HB2, what they call, I guess, the education freedom or the school choice bill.
Okay. Now I got it. So basically, what he was saying was not true.
What he was saying was not true, and in
No
fact,
way in politics,
right?
Okay.
And in fact, the committee, the education committee chair, Representative Rob Robertson, even said that in the education committee when HB2 was brought forward. He said, initially we were going to put a teacher pay raise bill in here, but I could not do that to you House members who want to vote for a teacher pay raise but do not want to vote for school choice. I was not going to make you make that decision, which I thought was
and
quite reputable.
Yeah, I think that's great. I agree. That's why I was wondering. I didn't think that teacher pay raises should be tied to any bill. I mean, either you're going to do it or you're not. Like, it's not fair to make that like a hostage to whatever the bill is, whether it's school choice
They
or
don't
anything
mind
else.
making kids hostage in schools, do they?
I mean, I don't know. That is your area. You know, my thoughts of I respect teachers. I think it's a super hard job, but I don't know why anybody.
I respect some teachers.
I just don't know why anybody'd want to do it. Like that's because I feel like I was talking to my next door neighbor who was a retired school teacher, and she put it great to me the other night. She said, it's kind of like being a prison guard because you got to be there from like 7 to 3, and you can't leave the kids. And I'm like, man, I'm not doing that. Like I got to sit there, like how like I'm always moving around all day. Like I would lose my mind. I couldn't do it. So. God bless them. I appreciate them. They should pay them more. But if you're not getting paid more, I would quit and get a different job, like, and not subject yourself to that. Like, that's just the way I feel about that.
This is Sean and I argue about this all the time because I don't know that Sean feels called to anything really. But there are some people who feel called to teach, and I feel very called to advocate for the issues that I advocate for, the vaccine issue, the parental rights issue. And I think some people, it just truly means something to them, and they don't even care how much money comes with it.
Well, I think there's a fine line between like fanatic and being called, because everybody uses like, oh, God is called. That's always a thing, like, and then, I mean, people that are like, terrorists, like God told me to blow up that building, so like, I just don't know. When everybody says I'm called to anything, it makes me kind of uneasy because I'm like, because it can be used in so many contexts, I guess. Not saying teachers are like that. I'm just saying like people say that so easily, like I was called, and then they end up, then they like do something like, and they leave the career and they're like, I thought you were called to that. Yeah, I guess I heard it wrong. Okay. Yeah, that's just, I mean, I don't know. So I'm reluctant to say I still like to say that I fell into things. That's a better way for me to say it. Things just kind of happened.
I guess when you watch your child be injured by something, then you want to speak out about it. And I guess that was how I feel I was called to talk about the vaccine issue, which obviously led into parental rights and now school choice.
You
Everything
fell into that. See, you fell into the parental rights thing from the vaccine thing. If that's kind of led to another.
But it's not something I could just stay quiet about.
No. But I mean, I just think, there's and I guess I'm really speaking more to people's careers in terms, like we're talking about teachers. Like, yeah, I like my next door neighbor was telling me that, it's a calling. And I do think it is for a lot of people that, like, my dad was a teacher for a year. I've told you that story. He's told me this thing. He quit because he's like, I wasn't called for this salary. That's what he told me. And that's what he told me. Yeah, he's like, it's like, no way. I mean, after a year of, he taught, I think 8th grade math or something. And he said, it's like, I wasn't called to the salary. That's exactly the way he put it.
I mean, that's very true. Teachers aren't doing it for the money.
No, they're not. They're not. And like I was telling you on the phone earlier, we complain about, teacher. I think they should be paid a lot more, but we complain about that. But well, I mean, it's any job, but
some of them should not be allowed near children. Period.
But that applies to any job. I mean, there's some people like really good at it, or some people really suck. There's just, I mean, when I was at the DA's office, there was a lot of good lawyers, a lot of bad lawyers. I mean, that's just kind of nature of any profession. But what I mean is, like, if we're really serious about education, then why aren't we paying them the most money and not paying the administrators all this money? Like, why aren't we paying the teachers $100,000 a year? Like, if you want to get the best people and you want you want the best people teaching your children, then this should be a no-brainer. Like, but we're paying the superintendents like $250,000 a year. Well, for what?
Y'all, this is the problem with Democrats right here, because there are so many more teachers than there are administrators.
I understand that
money going to come from? You want to pay all the teachers $100,000 a year. You want to give everybody free healthcare. Like, it's got to be paid for somewhere. It's got to come from somewhere.
Well, then don't complain when the system doesn't work as well as you want to. If somebody's not making up your money, like if you're only going to pay somebody like $40,000 a year, I mean, what do you expect? Kind of output do you expect from them? Like, I just don't understand. Like, how do you expect somebody to work hard when they don't make any money? Like, why? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, why? How do you expect that from somebody when you don't pay them?
But when you look at how many teachers we have, I mean, wouldn't you say that that's probably one of the largest professions throughout most states?
I'm sure it's a pretty, I don't know the numbers. I figure you would know better, but you're probably right. I would think so. Yeah,
because we have to have so many of them.
Besides the restaurant and hospitality industry, you're like, yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, that's not state paid, but you know what I'm saying? In terms of like numbers of employees in one industry. Yeah, I would think so. You're right.
And, and of course, a lot of those people work off of tips. I mean, maybe people should start tipping their teachers. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you were telling me earlier about a teacher that worked at a restaurant, and like I looked at a
Yeah.
poll, a number the other day, breakdown: 71% of teachers in the United States have a side gig.
A lot
I
of them are
mean,
driving Ubers or picking up
well,
deliveries.
okay, like why would I want to take a job, my profession, where I got to go take a side gig? Like, of course you're not going to get the output you want because you got to go work your other job to make end meet. So you're not going to like be able to work as hard as people think you need to work. I mean, I just think that's bogus. Like to expect them to like go the distance when you don't want to pay them. Like, why would I'd coast too? But I'm coasting, yo. Thanks for the 30,000. Like pay them, and then you could expect standards. But if you don't pay somebody, then they're not going to perform. I mean, that's
Well,
just the rule of life.
If the government is going to force me to send my children to a school, then I expect there to be some standards there.
Yeah, I mean, okay, well, just say you okay, like here, work for this, and I expect you to work so hard. That's not fair to them, I don't think. But
Well, a lot of things that a lot of these teachers do are not fair either, but that's another story for
yeah,
another day.
yeah,
I think, unfortunately, we have seen a lot of problems in education with teachers who sometimes go rogue. But you never know. We're definitely lucky and blessed to have the good ones who are good and who really are there and who do care about children being able to learn in a good environment. But on that note, we have to take another break. Y'all stay with us. Much more to discuss, and we will be right back here. WIB 1039, The Lindsay Beckham Show. Lindsay Beckham Show.
.1039 WYAB.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun craving. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Spring is in the air and temperatures are on the rise, requiring us to run the AC nonstop. Don't let those days sneak up on you. Call Pure Air Consultants today for your spring inspection on your AC system. Pure Air Consultants, your go-to Ring Pro partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time at all. Locally owned and operated, Ring and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue. Contact Pure Air Consultants today online at mypureconsultants.com. That's mypureconsultants.com.
CBS News brief 6 days into the Iran war, and it's still a struggle for many Americans who want to leave the Middle East.
There is this mounting frustration and anger over what seems to be a lack of planning and preparation on the part of the administration to get Americans out of harm's way.
CBS's Matt Gutman in Tel Aviv. Israel, involved in attacks in Iran, is also targeting southern Lebanon, as we hear from the BBC's Weir Davies.
There's been an unprecedented evacuation order for parts of South Beirut, areas that are known to be loyal to Hezbollah, where there have been numerous Israeli military airstrikes.
The Trump administration's cut a deal with 53 medical schools to require 40 hours of nutrition education for students to graduate. Education Secretary Linda McMahon.
These actions promise real progress toward our shared goal of a healthier America.
CBS News Brief. I'm Steve.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repaired? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Your pool should be something you enjoy, not something you fight with. Hi, I'm Darren with Elite Pools. At Elite Pools, we do more than just service. We take care of everything your pool needs, from your routine maintenance to your full repairs, upgrades, and even complete transformations. If your pool needs a little attention or a fresh start, then Elite Pools can bring it back to life. Visit Elite Pools online at elitepoolsms.com. That's elitepoolsms.com. Or give us a call. At Elite Pools, we keep you swimming.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun flip or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time. Leaky faucet, sink, or toilet? Need a water heater installed? Call on Anglin Plumbing. You can always trust Anglin's reliable and hardworking technicians. Don't let plumbing headaches ruin your day. Call on Anglin Plumbing Service to get it fixed. And you can be a part of the team. Anglin Plumbing is now hiring. Learn more about Anglin Plumbing at anglinplumbing.com.
Have you thought about the cost of long-term care? In Mississippi, a home health aide can cost over $57,000 a year, and a private nursing home room can exceed $109,000 annually. Hi, my name is Cresley Pierce at Pierce Professional Agency. Long-term care insurance may help protect your savings and give you more options and peace of mind as you age. Learn how planning ahead could save you money and stress. Find me, Cresley Pierce, online today at MadisonPlans.com. That's MadisonPlans.com.
Come together.
We are back here on the Lindsay Beckham Show here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. I'm telling y'all, I'm in this group chat with Sean and Kim Wade, and if you ever need a laugh, just let me know. I'll have to send you some screenshots because they go at each other, and I'm just kind of stuck in the middle here.
Yeah, Kim's upset about this war in Iran because the United States is attacking his Muslim brethren.
Here we go.
And he's very upset about this. So that's what he was in the Nation of Islam. Every time on the radio I mention that because I think it's worth mentioning that he was a member of the Nation of Islam. Had a conversion while in prison. He changed his life forever. He is the man he is now because of that. So
I love you.
For better or worse.
I don't let him talk about you too bad, I promise. Not when I'm around anyway. Sean, so one thing that you have been very educated on is keeping up with the Jody Owens and Chokwe Lumumba scandal. You even gave your opinion on some of the latest happenings to WLBT this week. I shared that on my social media if anybody wants to read it, but tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, and really thanks to Anthony Warren with WLBT. He calls me on this story all the time, and he just to get my opinion. It's really nice that somebody cares what my opinion is, because sometimes I don't know if it's good or not. But I really appreciate Anthony.
Sometimes he wonders if his opinion really counts.
Yeah, so I really appreciate that Anthony values it, because at least somebody does. So that's nice of him. Anyway, he writes. All kidding aside, Anthony does some amazing work over there. He has been following this scandal since the beginning, and if you check it out, go to WLBT, follow him. It's really great work. But the what's going on is the feds have now filed. The federal government has filed several motions. They're under seal, so you can't really see them yet. They're not public, and what they are the gist of it in English, Lindsay, I won't give the legal gobbledygook, is they want to move the case out of the Jackson area, or at least draw a jury from not the metro area. The way the federal system works is there's the Southern District of Mississippi, which is what we're in here, and it's basically all the counties south of I-20 or in that, a couple that are north of it, and we're in the Northern Division of the Southern District, and that's, I forget, 20 counties, something like that. And then there's an Eastern Division, Western Division, and Gulfport, all that stuff. So there's so they want to draw a jury pool from different parts of the southern part of the state. And that is so it's people that don't know about it. And Lindsay, you sat through a voir dire with me and probably remember the questions I asked the jury was that, have you ever heard about the case? And based upon what you've heard, have you formed an opinion one way or the other? You know,
Mhm.
based on that opinion, has that made you favor one side or the other? And I think that is what the federal government is trying to exclude that, so there's not a biased jury. Because I think the worry, and I think it's a smart move on their part. I would have done the same thing. I think they're worried that there's a jury that some could be tainted. We have a lot of corruption in this town, and they
Yeah.
don't want all it takes is one person to buy the FBI got me drunk defense that District Attorney Owens is putting forward, and they don't want that. I don't blame them. And I mean, if I were Judge Jordan, I would agree with them and move it. I think he actually said, they have some quotes from him. Judge Jordan said that jury selection is going to take a long time due to the high profile nature of this case. I tried a very high profile case about, God, now it's 13 years ago. I'm really old. And we had to move the case to Lafayette County, Oxford, and pick a jury because everybody in the metro area had heard about it. And you don't want a juror that has already made their mind up because they've read all these press reports, and one way or the other. I mean, because I think most times we read what's in the media and we immediately make an opinion based on that when it may not be the facts. And a lot of times it's not. I mean, a lot of
That's
times
our
it's just
human
not.
nature. We're obviously gonna just form an opinion on what we hear.
So you're fighting that battle, whether you're the defense or whether you're the prosecution. And for the district attorney in Chokwe, I think there's a lot of people that have already said they're guilty. Now, I think it looks pretty obvious that they are guilty. I think, well, actually, Jody Owens has said that he is in his entrapment motion. You have to admit that you did it. So I think that's out of the fact that he did it is taken out of the question at this point. Now he's just saying that he was coerced into doing that by the FBI because they got him white girl wasted. I mean, that's kind of what his argument is now, that he wouldn't have done it if he wasn't, doing shots of White Claw. But that's the
And that
so
poor guy, what's the other guy's name? That poor guy.
Aaron Banks.
Not only did he get drug into this, but now he's been made to look like the
Oh yeah.
castaway. Like they've just portrayed him in such an awful light, not even really a
Well,
negative light, but just like he's just a nobody. Nobody even cares about
no,
him.
I don't. I know the answer to this question, but I'm asking anyway. Have you ever seen the movie Four Brothers with Mark Wahlberg?
No, but I know what you mean about the little kids table. Like, go.
Yeah, Clay and I used to Clay's seen it a bunch, and we used to joke about this because there was a scene when they the mafia guy, like, who's a black mafia guy in Detroit, is like owns a city councilman. Aaron Banks was city councilman, and he's mad at me, makes him go sit and eat dinner at the kids table. So we so I always call Aaron Banks to sit at the kiddie table Banks, because that's the way Jody Owens had talked about him in those FBI wiretaps. Basically,
Yeah.
like he was the little B word.
Mhm.
That's the way he was being treated. So, like, we were like, well, he was trying to sounds like he was trying to skim how much money he was going to pay him, if I remember
That's
correctly.
what it was.
Yeah, like, well, we'll pay Aaron 5,000 now, and we'll just give him, 5,000 later. I mean, we own him, whatever. He
Right, that's
doesn't
the way.
matter. He's just a vote on the council. So, yeah. So I think, in ordinary cases, if you were the defendant, you may not want the home county. That's why in the state, only the defendant can file a request to change. It's called change venue, but like essentially move the case to a different county. Here the federal government, the prosecution is doing that. They're not changing the district. They still want to stay in the southern district, but they want to move to a different part of that district. So I think usually it's the defendant wants to do that. Here I think they're rolling their dice that they'll get a more favorable jury that might buy the white girl wasted FBI got me drunk thing, because apparently that's his only defense. It's not that he didn't do it. It's he did it, but he was coerced into doing it. So he's hoping that somebody, will buy into the whole public, I don't know, the FBI set me up defense. I mean, that's kind of what it is. And and I don't know that a jury in Gulfport is going to buy that
I was
as
about to ask,
easily as one in
where
Jackson,
would
Maine.
where would the location most likely be, you think?
It'd be up to the judge. He'll weigh a bunch of factors. I would think you want to do it where there's a greater population center and easier to get jurors. The coast sounds like the most reasonable to me. Like, you could get the most people there, and most likelihood that you actually seat a jury would be there. I would move it to Gulfport. That would make a lot of sense. And that way, those folks have heard about it? Probably not. They're not in the same media market. They've probably not heard about it. One thing I did when I was a prosecutor and their defense would request to change a venue on a high profile case, I'd always want to move it to the coast, because the reputation of the coast is those folks will convict you. Like if I was the defense here and I'm representing Jody, I'd be like, we don't want to go to the coast because we are F word if we go to the coast. So,
Well, I'm a fan of the coast because that is where our lawsuit with Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights ended up, and we won in our lawsuit against the state
yeah,
over.
they're pretty conservative on the coast, like more than people think, and it's the juries there are notorious for throwing you away. So if I was the federal government, I'd be like, Judge, we want to go to Gulfport. If I was Jody Owens and Chokeway, I'd be like, please God, we don't want to go to Gulfport. So that's
I
kind
just
of where I
wonder
laid with it.
too, once this is all said and done, are there going to be any families of people or any, even the people who have been prosecuted that are going to come back and say, hey, it was proven by court of law that Jody Owens did these things, and in the process of that, we heard him say he can fix any case.
Yeah, and I think that, that came up during the whole Goon Squad stuff, if you remember,
Mhm.
about the sheriff's department and did what, ever involvement they had in fabricating evidence or whatever they may or may not have done in specific cases. The issue is here, though, you got to prove it if you're the defendant. And it's hard to, because, sometimes, like, you don't have the evidence that they set you up or that there was, this, that. Now, if you're a defendant and you paid the DA off to give you a better deal, well, I don't know that you want to disclose that anyway, right? You're like, I'm going to keep that quiet because I paid the DA to give. This is not like I'm speaking like this is a movie. I actually lived that with my old boss, Robert Smith, one of the guys that was working with me. Ivan Johnson, assistant DA, was taking money to reduce bonds on cases and, help defendants. So this happens. This is not something that you see on, on TV or in the movies. I actually lived it in that office. So yeah, if that happened, the defendant wasn't really prejudiced because he's the one who paid off the DA to give him a better deal. Now, I think it would only be in the circumstance where, there was a setup of some sort and somebody
Look at
actually
Anthony
didn't do
Fox.
it.
Look at Anthony Fox. Are there
Yeah.
more cases out there like that?
Right. That's a good point. And, Anthony, I think he actually got some money from that too. So yeah, I think, right. If there were cases where they set somebody up or looked like obvious kind of bias, I don't know. It's still hard to prove that, though. It's very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to do that. So I don't know. I don't foresee a lot of that happening. It hasn't really happened in Rankin County, so I don't know. I don't really see it happening in Hines, but one thing I do know: if you paid the DA off to reduce your time in jail or whatever else, I don't know that any of those people are going to come forward, Lindsay.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
No,
saying
I know.
they were paid off to convict somebody else and basically set them up to be.
Yeah, and that's
I feel like
possible.
so there could be some scenarios like that. But we got to take our last break. Yeah, I'm sure it would be. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here to wrap things up on this Thursday afternoon right here, WIB 103.9, The Lindsay Beckham Show. Stay with us. WIB 103.9, The Lindsay Beckham Show. Stay with us.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrio Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrio is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrio's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrio and taste the traditions. El Patrio, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
Looking to elevate your ride? Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck have you covered. From rugged bumpers to sleek step bars, Weston's top-notch accessories will transform your truck into a head-turner. And at Rick's Pro Truck, we specialize in custom installations that bring your vision to life. Visit us today for expert advice and unbeatable deals. Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck, where your truck's potential comes alive. Weston and RPT. Trucks live here.
This is Jack Hoffman. For nearly 31 years, Tico's Steakhouse has been a staple of fine dining in Jackson, Mississippi. Dad has long since desired for me to come work alongside him. And now that I'm here, I would like to invite you to come experience our family tradition of our hospitality, sizzling steaks, and healthy poured beverages. Our dining rooms are open and we are taking reservations. Our private rooms are also available along with takeout. Call today or stop in and experience Tico's in the second generation.
Tico's Steakhouse, East County Line Road in Ridgeland, 601-956-1030.
Grizz Nation, get to FedEx Forum for a primetime showdown when your Memphis Grizzlies host the LA Clippers on Saturday, March 7th. Grab your crew and get there. 7 p.m. tip-off as we celebrate Women's Empowerment Night presented by Nike. Get your tickets today at grizzlies.com/tickets or at the FedEx Forum box office in Memphis. Got electrical problems? Marty Cowden and Cowden Electric are here for you. Cowden Electric is your trusted electrician serving the Jackson area for 3 decades. Electrical repair, service, and home rewiring are just the start of what Cowden Electric can do. Cowden Electric also installs generators to keep your power going when everyone else's lights are out. Plus, LED lighting, remodels, new construction, no job is too small. Visit CowdenElectric.com today to see all that they do. Cowden Electric, powering your home and business.
At Flora Animal Hospital, our team doesn't just take care of your pet's needs. We feel like it starts with the pet parents. If the pet parent is informed thoroughly and understands the situation with the animal and why certain things need to be done or certain medications need to be given, it's easier to get that done. Our website is floraanimalhospital.com. It'll take you straight to the online store where your medicine can be purchased, food can be purchased, prescription or non-prescription, and they will be shipped straight to your front door. floraanimalhospital.com.
Our flag was still there. The official 250th celebration flag is available at a complete flag source on I-55 North in Jackson. It's just one way you can show your appreciation for the greatest country on earth. Flags for all occasions. International and state flags too. Flagpole construction available. You can check it out at CompleteFlags.com. A complete flag source, I-55 North in Jackson.
Health has always been reactive, focused on fixing problems as they happen. But with Blue Primary Care, we're taking a proactive approach, working with you to help you understand your health and empowering you to be healthy. It's time to prioritize you, your health, and
We have just a few minutes left, or about 1 minute, but breaking news here. It seems as though Kristi Noem has been fired from her position in President Trump's cabinet. Thoughts, Sean?
Can I do a big clap for President Trump? Big clap. Kristi Noem is an absolute moron, and that was this is one of the best moves I think that President Trump has made. That she was no way qualified for that job. Her replacement. I love her replacement, Mark Wayne Mullen. That guy that dude is the dude that tried to fight the Teamsters boss in the hearing. I love that. I love when they were about to get into a scuffle and he got up.
I don't.
Yeah. Mark Wayne. His name is Mark Wayne. I mean, come on. He's Senator Mark Wayne Mullen from Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken, and he's going to replace Kristi cosplay Noem. So good move, President Trump. Applause on that one.
I think her outfits are cute. I think she always looks good.
I'm impressed that he did that. I cannot even. Clay just sent that to me, and I sent it to you, and I did not expect that. That is
I just got
incredible move.
The breaking from Truth Social. I always get President Trump's updates, and I just got it so that it is factual. Trump has named Senator Mark Wayne Mullen new Homeland Security Secretary.
Mark Wayne is cool. I'm not kidding. He really good to look about.
Kristi Noem is to become the special envoy. But that's all the time we got. See you tomorrow. Bye.
See ya. Bye.